All right. Hello. Welcome back to another awesome Geek Vibes Live interview. I'm your host, Tia, and returning, we have director Stacey Souther, who I haven't spoken to you in, I feel like I know it was last year, but I feel like it's been a full year. So how are you doing? Is how I'm going to start this one.
It has been almost a year. It was July of last year.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been a minute. I'm good, you know. I'm gonna catch you all up on Valerie Perrine and that movie, but other than that, no, I've been all right, you know. Just hustling.
It's all about the hustle these days, especially now that things have opened back up. The movie theaters are open. Did you go see Doctor Strange yet?
Um, I did not, and I'm sure your listeners and viewers and everything are gonna be like, what kind of guy is this? He's not geeky enough for us.
It's
But I
all
will
good.
see it. I will see it. I'll just wait till probably not at the theater. I'm still a little about big crowds.
I don't blame you, honestly. Like as a side subject, really quick, I only now go to the theater, I feel like, when I get the press screenings, because I feel like that's a little bit more controlled. But then
Yeah.
even when I went to this one and I saw West Side Story as well as a press thing, and like not a lot of people wearing masks, everyone was sitting next to each other, and I was just like,
Oh,
are we jumping a little too fast into this, guys? What's going
yeah. We
on?
jumping the gun here. What's going on? Yeah, I know. I mean, I do it too because, and this goes back to what we're talking about, because of Valerie. Because I literally see Valerie several times a day, and I'm the last person to see her at night. So
Right.
I want to be safe for myself, but more, moreover, is that right? Moreover, I want to be safe just because she's going through enough struggles as it is. I don't want to, I don't want to throw COVID in the mix.
No, absolutely not. So let's get into, the main reason why you're here is to speak about Valerie Perrine, to catch up those who maybe are watching this and didn't watch the original interview that I did with Stacey a year ago, pretty much. Stacey is the director of this documentary, which shameless plug, I did do a review for it. I'll link it down below. It's an amazing documentary, and I'm not just saying that because you're in front of me right now. It learning about an actress that I hope you as the audience knows, but if you say don't know her, you'll really learn about her in this documentary. And you are here because it's now becoming available on video on demand, so more people now can watch it. So kind of, let's what would you like to say to those who are watching this who are like, oh, I didn't even know that was a documentary that was out. Should I check it out? Should I not check it out?
Well, I'm going to say you should check it out. If Siskel and Ebert were still around, I think they'd give it two thumbs up. Rex Reed, who is a real movie critic, he's seen it. He loved it. Michael Caine saw it. He said it was brilliant.
Oh, that's
So
that's a really nice endorsement there.
yeah. So I mean, maybe those guys know what they're talking about. I don't know.
Who knows?
I mean, I will say everybody that I know who's seen it that's said anything to me, everybody's loved it. And and if even if it wasn't my movie, if it was just I just saw it, I would think it was a great movie. But yeah, so yeah, where do we start? Where do we go
Well,
from?
first of all, how happy are you now that it's being available on video on demand so that more people can watch it?
Oh no, I'm very happy. I mean, the whole thing is I wanted there's a few reasons I wanted to make the documentary, but I wanted to share Valerie's story with the world. As hopefully that doesn't sound too cheesy, but because she's just had this incredible life, and I mean, like literally, and I said this before. If people could live 5% of the life she has led, that would be a dream come true.
Right.
So, but yeah, to spread the word about her and her story and share all that good stuff, and because believe me, it would literally take someone writing a book to come up with a character that's led a life like Valerie's actually led. It's insane. So, I mean,
to recap what we had spoken about previously, and again, for those who are watching and may have not watched the original interview, how long did it take for you to film this documentary?
between when I started filming and we'll say release day earlier this week, I mean, that was 8 years, but that wasn't all filming. I mean, I probably filmed it up until I might have filmed something in 2019, but that's when it was getting slow. That was like the little pickup things and things like that. And then COVID hit. So that kind of messed things up. Because we didn't get to have like a legit premiere.
Right.
There was a film festival called Amdocs that's in Palm Springs, and it was going to be the closing night film for that event, and that was going to be great. That was going to be like so much fun, and then didn't happen.
And then COVID decided to make an appearance.
Yeah, rear its ugly head. But yeah, there was all that stuff, and I mean, the movie was being considered for the Oscars last year,
right?
So that's pretty good. And
that must have felt. Oh, I was just gonna say that must have felt great. Like as the director, I mean, for it to be considered to be nominated for an Oscar, it's like that's huge. That's even on the radar,
Yeah, I mean, this is my first film, so
right.
I mean, I was pretty impressed. And then something else did happen since we spoke last. The Academy contacted me, and the movie is in the Academy's permanent archives. So the movie's there forever.
That's amazing, Stacey. Seriously.
Yeah, that was one where I was like, I didn't even know that was like a thing, So I was pretty impressed.
As you were getting the reception, like, first of all, that's huge, right? And then, so as you're getting the reception for the film, I know this is probably a kind of obvious question, but did it feel just good to know that the work that you put in was being recognized, and it was being recognized positively? Because I have to imagine that every person who makes a film, whether it's a documentary or a fictional film, they're filming it and they want it to be good. They think it's good. And then sometimes if it gets poor reviews, it's like, really disappointing because you really thought you were doing something really good. But for you to get these positive reviews, that just had to be such great reinforcement for you.
Oh, 100%. I mean, when you're making something, like you said, some people think their stuff is amazing, or in my case, I knew the movie was good. And I mean, I'm not just saying that, I knew that I'd made something good, but you don't know what the reception is going to be when people see it, But no, that was really, again, a positive reinforcement. People, again, like certain people, a bunch of people saw it that know Valerie personally.
Yeah.
And they all loved it and said what a great job I did and how I captured her spirit and all that. So as soon as I had those, as soon as I heard that from those people, like I knew that I'd done something right. And plus Valerie has seen it all through it, from because it's about her. But after I would do interviews with anybody, Jeff Bridges or Angie Dickinson or Richard Donner or whoever it was, I would take them to her and I would show her what I had shot. Because, I mean, first off, who doesn't like to hear great things said about them? But secondly, because, she has Parkinson's, and I think this was like a little side thing, but I think, that was a good therapy, just hearing positive things about yourself and seeing how much these people respect and care about you, Did I answer
absolutely.
that? I don't know. I guess I'll start going this way. I do just kind of like get back on track.
No, listen, I feel like I've developed my interview skills in a way where I'm like, wherever the interview goes in that direction. That's where we're going.
Nice.
But Valerie is such this unique person in that since I had it on the schedule that you and I were going to speak again, I would say to the people in, around me, hey, I'm speaking to this director. He did a documentary about this actress, Valerie Perrine. And they say, oh, I don't know, maybe I don't know who that is. But then I'd show them a picture and instantly it's, oh, I know who that is.
That
So
happens to me all the time. Same thing. I mean, because people would ask me, or, what are you working on? What are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing this thing on, you know, this actress friend of mine, Valerie Perrine. They're like, who's that? I'm like, well, and I can, there's a certain way I know what movie I need to mention to them to see if they know who she is. Because if I throw out Lenny, a lot of people won't know who that is or that movie, but everybody pretty much knows Superman. But sometimes when you say Superman, they're like, oh, Lois Lane? And I'm like, no. That's the wrong actress. But like you said, you show them a picture like, oh yeah, I remember her. Oh, she's amazing. What happened to her? I loved all the stuff I saw her in.
And that's what's so amazing about the documentary Valerie. I really felt like it was a love not a love, yeah, a love letter. Is
Letter.
Yeah, exactly. For some reason in my head, I was like, does that sound right? That sounds right. Take two. It was a love letter to Valerie. And if you didn't say know who she was beforehand, you fell in love with her. And if you knew who she was beforehand, then it just kind of reinforced that. And I want to ask, I mean, how has Valerie been doing since we last spoke? Because it's nice to hear, by the way, that you're still, very much in her life.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, the whole thing was we were friends before any of this happened.
Right.
But it's Parkinson's, so it's a progressive neurological disease. So she's having a little bit more trouble talking. Like the words are in here, everything's in here, but it's harder to get it out. You know what I mean? Like she may get half of something out and then the other half it's like stuck, if that makes sense. And believe me, I knew nothing about Parkinson's before she got it. I mean, I knew it was something where people shake, but I had no idea about the extent of what the disease does to a person.
Right. I think that unfortunately, it's one of those diseases that if you don't have it or someone who you love doesn't have it, you may not know a whole lot. Because I think that the only person really that people know in Hollywood is Michael J. Fox. And that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few other people, because also what happens is a lot of times if a celebrity gets sick, with something, either you don't hear anything from them for a while, it's kind of like they kind of vanish, they go under the radar, or when it gets to a certain point, then you might hear something like Bruce Willis, the thing that just came out about him. I mean, it just didn't happen to him. It's been a progressive thing. So I guess they probably were thinking, okay, it's a good time to mention that he can't work anymore or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's a few people that have Parkinson's. Linda Ronstadt's a big one. They did a documentary about her. Neil Diamond, I think, has Parkinson's now.
Really?
Yeah. This is pretty low key. I mean, I don't know about where he's at with the disease, but I heard about it, several years ago, and then I haven't really heard anything else. But yeah, Parkinson's is a bitch, man.
And if I remember correctly, I mean, Valerie kind of got it fairly early on. I mean, she's been struggling with this for a while now.
Yeah, when you see the documentary, which you've seen,
yes,
I'll just say it, the brain surgery stuff, that was the first stuff I shot. Because literally I've been saying somebody needs to do a documentary about you for years. And documentaries aren't like they aren't like they are now, or weren't like they are now. I'm getting all crazy today.
Have you had your cup of coffee yet? I know it's like 6 o'clock there, but
maybe that's the problem. I don't drink coffee, but maybe I should start.
maybe you should start.
I know. I'm one of those people. But you know, now everything's like streaming, and documentaries are huge. Back then, documentaries weren't like they are now. And then and she was also going to do a book. She'd been working, talking about doing this book for years and years, and she had an outline and everything. And then it kind of wasn't. She wasn't pursuing it, you know, that hard at the time. So anyway, let me try to bring it back around. So when this brain surgery was going to happen, I thought it has to be shot. This is a one-time thing. So I went and borrowed a camera, and that's where I started shooting.
Yeah, and I think that the way you did it in the documentary was very real, but say it never came off exploitive. It was just very much, this is the reality of it. And that's what I appreciated about it. You know, it's just, I hate to say it. When I say I hate to say it, is because it's like, I don't want to come off a certain way, but I felt really sad for Valerie as I'm watching this documentary, because she's so full of life and such a wonderful person. And then you sit there and go, man, people who say we're fans of her movies don't even realize that this is what she's dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Well, that's the thing. When you get to the Parkinson stuff in the film, you know, I wanted to show a day in the life. And so you kind of get that, like, what's her life like at that moment, you know, when I was shooting that. But, and it's really raw. And she and I talked about all this when I was shooting, you know, and she decided that it was cool to do. She, you know, I could shoot whatever I wanted, because she wanted other people going through not just Parkinson's, but any kind of illness or mental illness, or just anything. You'd be having a, you know, a rough patch, a rough time in life right now. She wanted people to know you're not alone.
Yeah.
You know, just to, you know, if you just put, you know, try to be positive and take things day by day, you know, hopefully things will work out, or at least have a better, you know, give yourself a better outlook on whatever you're going through. And, you know, hopefully she could be an inspiration to other people. And a lot of people that have seen it, they would say, you know, I didn't know you're going through this, but now I've, you know, seeing you going through what you're going through, you know, it makes whatever, you know, my issue that I have right now, you know, it makes it's not that big a deal now that I see how bravely you're fighting battle with Parkinson's.
Right. And as a result of the film, has anything, say, has anyone reached out to maybe want to help Valerie? Has there been any maybe funds that go to, you know, her treatment and everything? Like, what has the outcome been besides, say, the documentary getting, you know, positive accolades? You know, has it spun anything else from it?
Yeah, so there's a GoFundMe for her, and all of that money goes to help with her care. And I'll throw it out now and throw it out again at the end. You can go to valeriemovie.com, and there's a link that'll take you to the GoFundMe, or if you just happen to go to GoFundMe and put in her name, it'll pop up. So yeah, you know, there's been some donations from that, which is good. I mean, every little bit of money counts, because, you know, what happens is everybody has this idea of movie stars in Hollywood.
Right.
Everybody lives in a mansion in Beverly Hills. Everybody's rich. Everybody's young and beautiful, you know, till the day they die. And that's not the real world, you know. Valerie doesn't have all those things anymore. So that's why, every little bit of money that comes in, that helps out. And it just goes to help her care.
I think that was the most I want to say grounded moment in the documentary, seeing that, because as you said, even when there's say actors or actresses that were big maybe in the 70s or 80s and you haven't heard from them in a few decades, you're like, well, they're just sitting poolside sipping on Mai Tais and everything. And you don't sit there to think how their lives have turned out. And I think that that was really important for you to show that.
Oh, totally. I wanted to capture her spirit and, just to show again, like you see, that's one of the things which was a blessing as a filmmaker. The amount of time it took to shoot the film, like I wasn't in any hurry. I just kind of did it as in time when as it did. But because it did take me so long, you got to see her disease progressed as I was shooting. So you see her, where she's, pretty good, things are going, after that surgery, things are going pretty well. But then, time goes on and you see the decline, which, you don't see that a lot in, especially movies about a celebrity. There's a few movies that I kind of, that I liked and I kind of used as not a blueprint, but they were sort of in the same world.
Mm-hmm.
There's that really good one about Glenn Campbell.
Okay.
I'll be me, or I'm still me, or something like that. And it's literally him. He has Alzheimer's, and he's releasing an album, and he's going on this big tour, and it shows he's already got Alzheimer's a little bit in the beginning of the film, but it shows like this, months and months long tour, and as that's going on, his disease is progressing, which that was one that kind of hit me, because I was like, oh, like it's not what Valerie has, but this was years ago, but I was like, it really hit home.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a little hard for me to watch because my great grandmother had Alzheimer's and I saw her progression. But I know what you mean, where I think that's the point of documentaries, is to be real, even if it's say uncomfortable at times.
Oh, 100%. That's the whole rawness of it. When it's raw and it's real, there's no sugarcoating when somebody's sick. Like, again, two of the other documentaries that I really liked. Did you ever see Gleason, about the football player who got ALS?
No, I didn't.
That's a really great documentary. And then there's one actually about Roger Ebert. The name of it is on the tip of my tongue. I think it's called Life Itself. And it's after he's already had, if you know much about Roger Ebert.
Yeah, he had I think throat cancer or something.
Yeah, like his jaw was removed.
I remember that.
Literally, they were going to do a documentary about him. And then he like a couple of days before they're going to start shooting, he hurt his hip or something. Like something was bad, and he was in the hospital for like quite a while. And they just started shooting him in the hospital. So you saw, all of the stuff that I didn't know anything about, like how they clean that stuff out and all this crazy stuff. But again, really raw, people that are in the spotlight. But it really puts a spotlight on what they were going through, and and I think that when it has to deal with a celebrity, more people watch something that has to deal with a celebrity. So you're also introducing them to maybe whatever you're fighting. Again, Michael J. Fox, he's the poster guy of Parkinson's, and geez, look at him. I mean, he's had Parkinson's for over 30 years. And
for a long time.
Yeah, and he's still, he still is pretty good, from what I've heard him do interviews and stuff, and he can still, talk, but he's, he has trouble with a lot of other stuff, but, he put a face on Parkinson's.
I believe that in the past year or two, I can't, because again, with COVID, everything blended together. So I'm not sure if it was 2020 or 2021, but I did think that he announced his official retirement from acting, just saying that it was getting to the point where he couldn't necessarily read the scripts anymore. And he felt like that was it.
Yeah, I think I heard something, I can't remember what it was. I was listening to a podcast a few months ago or so, and I think that was, maybe he was starting to have trouble with dialogue. Like maybe it was remembering the dialogue. I feel like it was something like that, and I think he did retire.
It could, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. He announced it on a podcast, I believe, his retirement. So I feel like that's coming back into my memories and everything. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely loved your documentary. Again, shameless
Thank you.
plug, shameless plug. The review is going to be linked down below, which I think the title literally is like a love letter to,
Love that.
so when does it officially become available on video on demand, or is it currently right now as we're doing the
It,
interview available?
it is currently right now available. It is on Apple TV, iTunes, YouTube, Google Play. They're working on something to get it on Amazon.
Nice.
Um, but you can also get it on DVD for all you cinephiles or people who just like to have a hard copy. And you can get that's on Amazon. These are two kind of odd ones. It's at Walmart on demand. These are all, you have to order online, but Walmart, and it's at Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Nobles back in the day, I used to go, like when they started offering CDs and DVDs, I actually used to go there. And it's like, who goes to a bookstore for that? And it's like, well, you peruse around the books and then you go get a DVD. I didn't see the problem with it.
Yeah, no, I love Barnes and Noble. And all that stuff. Again, if you go to valeriemovie.com, that's got all those links. So if it's just easy to remember, go to valeriemovie.com and you can find it there.
I love that it's all in just one easy place.
It's too hard, like I know some people, I was trying to look it up. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, let me look on for the DVD on Amazon. And I'd put her name in and it was showing like every other movie she was in. And then I was like, oh, let me try Valerie DVD. Popped right up.
That popped up. Okay. Well, we're definitely going to link that down below so that people can easily access and be able to find the movie so that they can actually watch it. I do like that you mentioned that it's on actual DVD, because just as owning actual records has become a thing, like a collect, people love physical media, even though downloading and streaming seems to be the popular thing. I just got, well, you can't tell because I have a green screen. I did have a DVD rack. It unfortunately was old and I have to replace it, but I kind of liked having all my stuff on display.
Oh yeah, I'm a big thrift store junkie. And going to thrift stores, you can find all sorts of DVDs, Blu-rays are usually like $1. Like oddly enough, I found it was like 3 unopened like sets of Ren and Stimpy.
Really?
Yeah,
Who didn't open it?
That's what I was like, all right, great. I loved Ren and Stimpy back in the day. I haven't seen them since then, but now I can watch them whenever I want.
Yeah. And I know this is so off topic, but when Hurricane Sandy happened, for 3 days, I didn't have any internet. And the only thing that got me through was all of my like physical collection of, say, Law and Order and Criminal Minds, popping that into the DVD player because couldn't watch anything else.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. People forget about it. If there's something where your power's off or something like that, what are you going to do? I mean, hopefully you've got, you can read books or something, for that. But if you're stuck at home without internet, and now everything, most people don't have cable now. Everything's streamed, so everything's through that world. So yeah, go out, get the DVD. Come on,
I was going to say it's worth it to get the DVD because just in case, and again, you can display it. I did want to give everyone a chance, by the way, since we are really kind of seeing you from here up, but like, let's see the shirt. Let's see the poster here.
Yeah. All right. This is a variant of the poster. Can you see it very well?
We can see it.
There's a picture of Valerie back in the day. And yeah. It's a pretty cool poster.
I tried to ask Stacey if they were for sale, and he said that they would have to make more. So if you want to actually own one, reach out and let us know.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram. You can find Valerie anywhere. If you reach out to Valerie, you can get me through that. And again, valeriemovie.com, all those little links are there too.
I actually did follow her on Twitter after our initial interview, and so that was really cool.
You put some funny stuff up, some really interesting,
Yeah.
some really cool photos and things from back in the day. I mean, come on, like, I mean, again, if your audience doesn't know, I mean, Valerie was, she was a Vegas showgirl in the 60s, that she was in the, like, the glitz of Vegas at like the best time you could ever be in Vegas with the Rat Pack. And then, then she came to Hollywood and she literally was discovered. You'll hear about this in the movie, but literally was discovered. It's again, it's a storybook thing. And so she was in Hollywood during like the last decade of all that Hollywood brilliance and the glitz and glamour of that time.
Oh yeah, if you're watching this and you just love that era of things and you kind of just want to like learn about an actress who came up during that, as Stacey said, the glitz and glamour time, definitely watch it. I don't want to even like spoil too much of her like beginnings because it's this really cool, it kind of just brings you back. It just throws you into all of that.
Yeah, there's a nice nostalgia built into the film, and that's one of the things I wanted because I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If I had a time machine, first place I would go would be the 60s or the 70s.
Exactly. Like, so if you want to, I highly suggest seeing Valerie. I have almost like a two-parted question here, and it's, so now that the movie's out, it's on video on demand, is there more planned to cover Valerie, maybe in like another documentary or maybe a book or something? And now that Valerie is finished, what's the next project for you?
Well, with the Valerie stuff, I have a lot of stuff. Like it was going to be a feature to begin with, and then I kind of decided that it would be a bigger fish in a smaller pond if I did it as a short. Mm-hmm. But no, there's interviews that didn't make it into the short. Alex Rocco, who was amazing if you're a Godfather fan, he was Mo Green. If you don't know who he is, as soon as you see him, if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, you'll be like, oh, that guy. Yeah, I remember him. Felipe Rose from the Village People.
Oh, nice.
I've got like a bunch of stuff I could use. I mean, I'd like to make it longer because so many people see it and they're like, I loved it, I captivated, the whole thing, everything's so positive. Like, it just left me wanting more.
Because it is like a short. I kind of almost felt the same way where you're like, really? I want more of this. I want to learn more. So that'd be really cool if you could expand on it and release more of what you have,
Yeah. Hopefully I can do something with the footage and whatnot. And just to let everybody know, when I say short, it's not like 10 minutes.
No.
Almost like 40 minutes. Because a lot of people think like, oh, it's short, that's like 10 minutes long or something, right?
Well, everyone I feel like is so used to now we're kind of going back to 3-hour movies. So
yeah. I mean, come on, that Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was good.
And no shade on the Batman because I liked it, but that was like 3 hours long.
Yeah, that was. I don't want to. I thought it was. I mean, there were certain parts of it I liked, but I also felt that. Again, this is me. I don't want anybody to get mad at me, but I felt like I had all these great characters, but they didn't use them enough.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there's the Penguin. You just see him like a couple of times or whatever. I'm like, wow, you could have really done something like amazing, and that's all I was like. I felt like it was too long. So some of those great characters were just, kind of spread out too much. But hey, the Batmobile was fucking kick ass, wasn't it? Oh, I'm sorry. Can I say it? Can I
Oh,
say that over here?
yeah, it's all good. I always say as long as we don't curse in the first 30 seconds, because then I can't monetize this. But besides that, let's go for it.
Sorry, I was like, ooh. But yeah, I mean, come on, that Batmobile was pretty cool.
It was cool. And no, and listen, I think that any criticism is valid. Um, Anyone that I talk to who say like didn't like the Batman, I sit there and I go, I know what you mean. I can understand that and I can respect that. My concern even before I saw the movie was like, this is too long. But so when you say short, it's not short. It's just nowadays with everyone wanting 3 hour movies again, it's like, listen, guys, 40 minutes, 40 minutes.
Hey, let's put it this way. You can have a Valerie Perrine like film night. You can watch like a Slaughterhouse-Five, watch the documentary, and then watch Superman or watch Lenny and Superman or whatever. Just watch Superman. Come on, guys. I know you like Superman.
Stacey's really gearing towards our audience. Come on, Superman. Yeah.
I mean, that is the crazy thing about her career. She has such, like, her fan base is so wide. Slaughterhouse-Five was her first movie, so it was very specific. It's Kurt Vonnegut. So people that are like love Kurt Vonnegut. That's like that thing. Then Lenny, which is Bob Fosse and Dustin Hoffman about Lenny Bruce. That's a very specific kind of crowd of people. Superman, huge. I mean, that's a whole nother world. That's all the fans you can think of.
Yeah.
And then you go to a Can't Stop the Music with the Village People and Bruce Jenner about disco in like 1980, and disco had died already. That's a whole nother kind of movie.
Don't tell my mom that disco died. To her, it's still alive and kicking.
Still beating this. There it is.
Very random. Just a quick thing. Speaking about Lenny Bruce, do you watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
I don't. Everybody says it's great. Do they have him on there or something?
Yeah, the actor Luke Kirby every season guest stars for a few episodes as the real Lenny Bruce. And I think for season 3 he won an Emmy for it. He's phenomenal in it. He's so good in it. So anyway, I had to throw it out as soon as you said, reminding me about Lenny. I was like, if you haven't watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, you should watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
I'll have to see if Valerie's watched it. If not, I may have to get them to start watching that over there.
Amazon Prime. But and I'm not even getting endorsed for that.
I was gonna give you a little Valerie story. Hold on, what was it? Right when we were talking about all those movies.
I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. I was in the middle of saying the thing, and I was like, "Oh, there's that thing I should mention."
We were talking about Lenny Bruce.
It's one of these little stories about her.
Village People.
I don't remember now. I want to say it was something about Superman, but I can't say for Superman. Sure. Because I know your audience likes Superman.
Our audience really loves Superman. I want to say that there's definitely our audience really wants Henry Cavill back as Superman.
Oh, I almost I have a picture of Valerie with him.
Really?
Not in Superman,
but with him.
They were at there was a Comic-Con. It was when the first Superman came out. So it was like right after that. And I guess it was Superman's 75th birthday or something. I feel like that might be right. I can't remember. And so there,
75th or 85th, something like that.
Something, yeah, because it was like, 2013 or something when he was Superman the first time.
Yeah, the Man of Steel and everything. So it might have been the 75th. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, they were having a big Superman thing, kind of like a Comic-Con-y type thing with Superman. so basically it was a party for Henry Cavill because he was the new guy. And Valerie was introduced to him. It's like, oh, this is Valerie Perrine, Miss Teschmacher, da, 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 da. And I have a picture of them together. And it never has been shown anywhere. And I should have got her to put it up yesterday on his birthday, but I thought maybe we should keep it in case we need it for something later, like a book or something.
I mean, I was going to say, if you could find it and you feel like sending it over. But I don't want to spoil anything in case,
I do know right where it is. I got to think about it. It could make a pop-up. It could make a pop-up on, maybe her Twitter or something.
So everyone make sure that you follow Valerie Perrine's Twitter if you want to see a picture of her with Henry Cavill, who we all know we love. So
I know, I'm pretty sure I know right where the picture is, but I can't show it because we're on, maybe afterwards. I'm gonna have to show it to you.
I respect that.
You're like, yes, I'm down with that.
I have no problem with that. But so I did want to ask, whatchamacallit. So what's the next project that we're working on? Because it's been like a year since we've spoken. So, I mean, what are you currently working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on putting some other projects together. So that means money. Anybody wants to work with me? I'm just saying, award-winning filmmaker, we can make magic happen. Just being silly. But now I've got there's like a true crime serial killer type thing that we're trying to put together. Most of it's like documentary type stuff. I have like a couple of those kind of ideas floating around, kind of that true crime world. I mean, I would do another celebrity thing because I've done one, so I kind of have a way I know how to do it. But it's just tough. You just have to find the right person who has a really interesting life, who has a really interesting story, and that also wants to do a movie about themselves. And I mean, geez, literally now, I mean, the movie couldn't have come out at a better time because they're everywhere. I mean, there's about to be like one about George Carlin.
Yes, I saw that.
Like, there's so many great documentaries coming out about celebrities, and the good ones are good. When they're like really good, like that one looks really, really good.
It looks good. And I was going to say that another genre that's really big right now is the true crime genre. I mean, I alone am binging the ID Station, watching, the first 48 hours, every single true crime doc that every true crime doc that Netflix puts out. I mean, it's huge.
I've got to watch that John Wayne Gacy one. I just haven't had time.
Ooh, that's on my list. I saw that pop up, and like I've seen other things on him, but I'm like, if Netflix did it, even though they're raising their prices, and I have a little bit of a quarrel with Netflix, they're definitely winning at their true crime documentaries.
Yeah, I mean they did the Ted Bundy tapes.
I saw those.
Which those were really good. That's why I'm thinking this one has to be really good, just because I don't know if it may be the same filmmaker. I mean, it's the same. They're both the tape things. So I'm thinking
it's the same thing.
Yeah, one that they did that was really good. If I'm sure you've seen it. Did you see the one about the Night Stalker?
Yes. Oh, with Richard Ramirez. That one was really like.
That one was really good. And then not Netflix, and then we can get on with it. I'm just wondering for everybody watching and listening. There was one on HBO about, what is it? I'll Be Gone in the Dark. Is that the name of it? About the what's the name of it? Because there's that comedian Patton Oswalt, and his wife's the one who she was doing a book on it.
That I've not.
The California. Hold on.
That I've not watched yet. On HBO Max, the documentaries I want to say that I've watched. I started watching the Woody Allen one. I have my like personal feelings about
Yeah.
what was in that like first episode and everything. I'm not going to dive too much into that. And then also
Yeah.
there was this documentary about like the Heaven's Gate cult, and that was
I started watching it, but I think I only got it was a docu series, right? I think I only got
I think about
maybe
4 episodes.
I think I got through 2 of them, and I got a little bored, I have to say.
Yeah,
Um,
it definitely could have been maybe just a documentary movie. Didn't
yeah.
necessarily need to be 4 episodes.
Oh, they kind of like that now,
Yeah.
like the the studios and everything. It's like because it used to be like six episodes, and they scaled it down. They like a 4 episode thing. Oh, but that I'll Be Gone in the Dark. It was about the Golden State Killer.
Oh, I haven't watched that one yet. It's good.
You should watch it. Yeah, that one's really good, and I think it's I don't know. I want to say like it's maybe like 6 episodes. I can't remember, but I saw it like like a year and a half ago. But that one you should totally watch it. It's really good.
I would definitely check that out. Which to circle it back to everything. So if you're getting into the true crime genre, I would definitely be interested in whatever upcoming project that is.
Well, I will let me see how it plays out. But I'll just say that, you know, we might have talked to somebody in a prison
Okay.
on death row.
Oh, that's intense.
I'm just saying, we might have talked to the person who got the confession. Just saying. So that doesn't tell you, that's just enough. You're like, who is he talking about?
Stacey's really sprinkling in the hints here and everything. All right, Stacey, we're all gonna have to stay tuned here.
Yeah, gotta follow me, keep up with me.
And speaking of which, where can they follow you?
Yes. And I didn't plug that in. I didn't make that happen like that at
That's
all.
okay. You haven't had coffee yet because you don't drink
yes,
coffee.
I do not. I don't know how you people do it. It's like, oh, but I'm the one weirdo. I'm the one who, anyway, besides the coffee. You can find me on Instagram is probably my biggest one, and it's just my name, Stacey Souther, and it'll come up. You'll see kind of like a cartoon with like sunglasses on that looks like me. I'm on Facebook too, but I'll pop on there. But yeah, I would just say the easiest thing is on Instagram.
Okay, awesome.
And you can probably find me if you follow Valerie. I'm connected to her, and that's the easy way to find me.
And do you want to say the website again for Valerie?
Oh, what a novel idea. Yeah, it's valeriemovie.com. And
Awesome.
that'll take you wherever. That has links to, like I said, the movie, the GoFundMe, the trailer's on there if you haven't seen the trailer. And I see the trailer. It's really cool.
Awesome. So please, everyone, make sure that you are following Stacey on Instagram. Go to valeriemovie.com. I know that you said a bunch of times now, and for some, I am a coffee drinker, but I feel like I haven't had enough coffee today. It's
Yeah,
also
there.
it's also 10 o'clock at night here, so I'm like a grandma. It's like almost my bedtime.
It's a
But
perfect time for you to like watch some true crime tonight before bedtime.
I'm gonna check out that one on HBO Max. I'm not even kidding you. Because me, I can drag my feet watching some stuff, true crime stuff. I can watch in my sleep practically. Like I love that. But yes, please make sure that you check out the Valerie movie is on demand. It's on the website. Follow Stacey, follow Valerie. And Stacey, I can't wait for the next project. And again, I'm so happy that we were able to link back up and just anything keep me in the loop in.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you again for taking the time and chatting with me. And hopefully I didn't bore anybody. But if you go back and click on the past interview, you can catch up on all that good stuff. We had a good time during that interview.
Yes, we did. See, look at you. You are promoting things, right? The last interview will be linked down below. Thank you, Stacey. Awesome. Well, I hope you have a fantastic night. And for everyone who's watching, thank you as well. The obligatory, please like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. Bye, everyone.